Today we are reviewing the Fiyutech MG-V2 Gimbal Stabilizer. What's up everyone? If you're looking for a small camera gimbal stabilizer, this Fiyutech MG-V2 may fit your need. Let's start with the unboxing. Okay, so the gimbal is boxed in a nice box with a handle to carry it. In the box itself you find the gimbal, but it is in a neat little hard shell carry case which comes with a shoulder strap. In the carry case you have some instructions on how to balance the gimbal and other info about the mobile app and whatnot. There is a warranty card included as well. On the side of the carry case you have a pocket that keeps everything nice and tight. In that pocket we have two side handles, two side bars, a two-handed adapter, and a bag with a USB cable and a lens support. On the other side we have the charger, the main handle, the main gimbal, and the batteries, 4 of them. Now for the gimbal itself, let's start with the construction. The gimbal feels solid for its size. You can definitely bang this thing around and it will take a little bit of a beating without any problem. Everything is well manufactured, all the aluminum is CNC'd, most cables are hidden in the gimbal parts. The handles are covered with a smooth rubber which is comfortable to the touch but doesn't have a texture to them, so it could be an issue if your palm gets sweaty a little bit. The sidebars have a little play in my unit, but they feel sturdy nonetheless. If you screw them hard enough, they feel solid and they don't seem to get loose by themselves. Hopefully it doesn't get worse with time. There are a few 1/4 inch mounting points like on the handles, on the two-handed T and the main grip. That way you can mount a monitor, mic, or whatever you need. The base plate is also really solid. It allows for a lot of adjustment. The base plate also has an anti-skid rubber so the camera doesn't move when it's on the gimbal. That base plate also have a large sidewall to hug your camera and will work with a variety of cameras. One thing to note is that the gimbal is meant to be used with the tilt motor on the left, which will block your ports, so you won't be able to use an external monitor. But with the Sony a6300 I have been able to flip it and use it that way with the port free. So depending on your lens, camera, and weight, you may be able to use your port. Also, Fiyutech claims that it is good up to 3.5 pounds or 1.6 kilogram, which appears to be true. I have tested it with my Nikon D610 and this Tokina 11-16, which is about 1.4 kilogram. And the gimbal doesn't have any problem balancing the camera, but the footage isn't as smooth as it is with a lighter camera. I feel the motor were close to their limit, so to me this is really for smaller cameras. I have used it with my Sony a600 and the Tokina lens, which is about 900 grams, and it is flawless. The gimbal is also toolless, which is great. It makes for a quick adjustment for all the motors. The base plate, just because of that feature, you save so much time compared to other models out there. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to balance the gimbal. Another great feature is the flexibility of the gimbal. You can set it up to be a one-handed setup, a two-handed setup. You have a underhand grip option as well, really useful for those lower shots. That is an option that is important to me as I don't like to use gimbal with one hand. Also, having a two-handed setup double as a stand so you can balance the gimbal on a table, on the floor, or what have you. As far as the battery life, one pair should give you about 6 to 7 hours depending on your setup. Control wise, the gimbal features a little thumbstick to control the camera manually. You can adjust tilt, pan, and speed with the app as well. The gimbal features 3 modes: panning only, lock mode which locks the camera in one direction, and pan and tilt mode. How you cycle between the mode is easy. You click a combination of clicks on the function button and you select the mode you want. And it features a few neat tricks like the standby mode where the gimbal is still on but disengage the motor, so you save some energy that way. and 3 clicks there is a 180-degree option, so it quickly changed the gimbal direction. Overall, I really enjoyed this gimbal. It is perfect for smaller cameras. It is lighter than my other gimbal, but the payload is also a lot less. The footage is really smooth. I don't feel like the gimbal struggle with a 2-pound payload. It is also lightweight, so you can hold it for a good period of time without fatigue. This gimbal is also newbie friendly. You don't need to know what you are doing to set it up. A lot of gimbal need fine-tuning and balancing cycle with their app. This one is pretty much pick up and go. You may get some vibration issues, but that is due to 2 things. Either the camera is not tucked properly to the side plate, or your motor strength is too high. You can see how to fix that in my other videos. As for the payload, you shouldn't have any issues with this gimbal. If you have a mirrorless camera, I used this gimbal with the Sony a6300 and my Nikon mount Tokina 11-16, which makes it for a super long setup, and I don't have any problem balancing it. So if you're using a small kit lens, you will be fine. Using that setup is great. It gives me access to the port, so in my case I can use an external monitor. But as I said, if you're using a camera with a shorter lens, for example an A7S with a kit lens, even though the baseplate wall should be on the left side, you can totally flip it, and that way you will be able to use your port. I tested it with the a6300 and my Nikkor 50mm. I didn't have any issue, and keep in mind that this is with a lens adapter, so it's still a long lens compared to a native lens on any camera. So you should be fine. Not a lot of cons to this gimbal. It is a good entry-level gimbal compared to my $3,000 gimbal. It stacks up great. I only had a little problem where the tilt motor toolless adjuster got stuck at some point. I couldn't unscrew it. After a while and a lot of force, I was able to unscrew it, but that's something I was disappointed about. Otherwise, it is well constructed. Like I said, my right rod has a little bit of play in it, nothing terrible with the camera weight. It holds, it doesn't wiggle, but hopefully with time the problem won't get worse. All in all, it is a great gimbal if you have a mirrorless or DSLR, A7 series, A6000, GH3, 4 or 5, you'll all be fine. Even small DSLR, T2i, T3i, bigger ones like 6D, 5D, D600, D800 will work, but you'll have to make sure that the lens you use isn't too heavy, which is hard to do with a full-frame DSLR, but I was able to use mine. Just be wary that you will need to play with the settings a little bit to up that motor strength, and the footage might not be as smooth as if you were using a smaller camera. But as I was saying, it is a great gimbal regardless, travel friendly, really versatile. It checks a lot of boxes on my list. All right, if you want to see more videos about the gimbal, here they are. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this video, find us on Facebook, and see you next time.